All right, welcome back. He changed the way the 118th operates, and now after 32 years, Colonel Keith Allbritten is retiring. He has served as the wing commander for the last 4 years, was the vice wing commander for 3 years before that, so 7 years in leadership over there, and was a key in the transition to intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. Colonel, we don't have many colonels in our studio very often, so it's an honor to have you.
I appreciate the opportunity to be out here and talk about the 118th.
And if it's appropriate, may I thank you for 32 years of service.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's been a good run. I've enjoyed it, and I thank you to all the veterans that are out there. Appreciate what you do for our country.
What do you do at 32 years? What's your retirement plan? What are you going to do? Are you going to private pilot? Are you going to...
You know, it's fun. I love that. But I'm going to go into leadership development, talent management, take these leadership skills that I've used and developed over 30 years of career, and move into private, go out there and do it out in the world. I'm excited about that. That's my passion. That's what I love to do, is teach people about leadership. So I'm looking forward to that.
So when I described the transition of the 118th, explain how that happened. And you likened it to me during the break as taking a team that was doing one thing and totally switching it over.
Yes, sir. So about probably 10, 15 years ago, we came out on a base realignment list.
Yeah.
And so the C-130 mission went away, and the new mission that came in behind it was remotely piloted aircraft, targeting missions and cyber missions.
Okay.
So if you think about a dramatic change like that, it's almost like going from making cars one day to making software the next day with the same people and almost the same facilities. So we had to do a lot of change out there. A lot of change management, very challenging, but very rewarding. A lot of really cool things go on out there right now.
So and when we say the word unmanned aircraft, the fact is that's not really true.
That's correct. It takes about 140 people to fly those airplanes, so they're anything but unmanned. They're always manned by a pilot. They're never flown by themselves.
So when you look back, is that one of the more satisfying periods of your career, is making that transition?
It's been very challenging.
It here in Nashville, by the way.
Absolutely.
That did that.
Yes, and there's about 1,100 people out there on any given time. So it's very challenging, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding. You know, to realize what you do makes a difference in the nation. You know, we are a national instrument of power out there, and we do things that affect national security, and so it's very powerful.
And this, by the way, if you're on Murfreesboro Road, Donaldson Pike, if you stop at that intersection and look to your left, that is going to be the facility. That's where you guys are based. One of the lower points of your 32 years must have been the day that Captain Jeff Coos with the Blue Angels, the Navy Blue Angels, crashed and died, and you were the first officer on scene there. Explain to me the emotions that go, as an aviator too, that are going on in your mind.
So I came out of a meeting and I found out that there had been a crash in Smyrna. And so I called my boss, said, I'm headed to Smyrna. I think they might need some help down there. He said, go. So I headed down there. I called John Black. He's the executive director down there. And I chatted with him, and he said, okay, go here. I showed up down there. Within an hour of the crash, the scene was still on fire, actually. The police had established a cordon. The fire department was out there putting the fire out. Those guys did a great job that day taking care of the scene. I showed up, became the on-scene commander. Essentially made sure the scene was safe. Took care of the pilot, Jeff Coos, and then secured the scene for a future investigation, because after every airplane crash, there's always an investigation. And one of the things you've got to do is preserve evidence. So, you know, there was a lot going on that day. And I'll be honest, that was the day that I was not an aviator, you know. But it was a tough day, and it's not something I would want to do again. But I was glad, I was trained in that, and I knew they would need help down there, and I was glad to be able to be there and help out.
And Colonel, to watch the way Smyrna's reacted to this, and the way they honor Jeff, and the way he will not be forgotten in the city, has got to be something that to you means a lot.
If you see that memorial down there,
it gives you chills.
I know. It just, I get goosebumps thinking about it.
So I did some calculating. You spent combat hours, actual combat hours. It would be like getting into a jet or a KC-135 for 2 weeks straight.
Okay.
Morning, noon, night, for 2 weeks straight. That's how many combat hours. Is that the most intense flying there is in the Air Force?
It's very different. Some of the rules we do here are very different over there. It's very challenging. It's very rewarding. They teach you attention to detail. You realize when you get in a place like that, it's very important, because it either saves your life or the life of the guy next to you. So those things become very, very important. But you develop a bond during those times that you won't find anywhere else. So it's amazing.
And I look at your career. You enlisted and you managed to stay relatively close to home, and I imagine that's one of the selling points for following in your footsteps.
Exactly.
In this job.
At the 118th Wing, we do a lot of different things. We've talked about some of that, but we also have IT. We have human resources. We do supply. We do a lot of different things out there, medical, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's 1,100 airmen out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
And so we're always looking for good folks. We're always interested in talking to people about coming out there and doing that. Yeah. You can live in Middle Tennessee and serve in Middle Tennessee. I've been here 20 years. I haven't moved. And so live here, serve here. We'll pay your college tuition. Yep. There's a lot of opportunity out there to teach you a marketable skill. I can't tell you how many parents and relatives are out there. My son's out there. Yep. And it's one of those places where if it's not a good place, I'm not going to bring my family to work there. Yeah. And so it's a good place to be. You've put the 118th on the cutting edge of technology, yes, and that's going to ensure its future, yes, sir, for many generations to come. I think you're right. Colonel, best of luck in retirement. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. And thank you for stopping by. It's an honor. It's been great. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Enjoy the weekend. Every day's a weekend now. Every day's fixing to be a weekend. That's right.